everybody. I am here at the ABQ OTS champion, and I am here with
Jefferson Dulaney.
And what did you do today, Jefferson?
I just went undefeated with Yummy.
Woo! All right. Any shout-outs before you get into it?
Shout out to the boys in the 505. Shout out to Chris and Santi. To be honest, they're the only reason why I know how to play the deck. They did all the testing. I just showed up. Shout out to the sponsor, the Gaming Metro. Shout out to the girl at home, and shout out to all the 505. We still want bigger events. We have a group that travels all the time, so we're out there.
All right, let's get to the deck profile.
All righty, so I'm playing Yummy. It's the new deck that just came out. I don't know what the cards do, but they're really cool. So you got the 3 of each of the main deck monsters. Yeah, that's pretty much what they are. They're all one-card combos. This is the best one-card combo because it ends on more. Yeah, it's pretty cool. They all have their own little specific interactions. This one in a hand trap build. This one you use to draw into more hand traps. Quick story, I don't play hand traps, so we don't use that effect. We only search for follow-up, and that's how you win games. So that is it. That is my monster lineup. A whole 9 monsters. Then I play the extenders slash stuff, so the surprise and the obedience gold. The obedience gold is an obvious include. Now the 3 surprise is interesting. As they were doing testing, they told me that the one thing that you wanted to watch out for was the normal summon, and so I decided I'd play this. This is also really good into Malice, so you can just kind of manipulate your board to play around Malice. That's kind of how I beat my Malice opponent. Like I said, it's also an extender. That's kind of what you wanted, and it just overall helps going into boards. Hard drawing it makes your combo even better because you don't have to search this. Game 2s and 3s, you can slide down to 2 going second, which is all right. Like I said, Obedience Gold is the 1-card combo that just plays all going second. You want to activate it last. You want to break a board, then activate this, and then you just kind of win the game from there. So there's those, and then I played the 1 field spell and 2 of these. So right before this event, Triff obviously posted his video where this beats Yummy. Yummy loses as soon as this field spell is gone. We agree. So the way we play around that is either you play an extra deck card over it or you play the second field spell. I don't have the extra deck cards, and I'll explain which ones those are. But you play the 2 field spell just so you don't auto lose to if they banish 1. So that was kind of the logic behind this. This one, I feel like it's just kind of win more. So it might be cut going forward, but I did like it for today. Just another interaction piece, and that's kind of what the deck is. Then you play the other engine, which would be the Sky Striker engine. This and this. This is only in here because when you go first or when you go second, it's to help break a board with multiple engages, or if your hand's just good enough, you just need the little interaction. And obviously the drones, it's just, 1-card Yummy combo as well with these. Yeah, this isn't also once per turn, so opening up multiple is pretty decent, especially adding another interaction on your end board. I know that a lot of times this doesn't seem like it'd be valuable going first, but if you do open up this or this, the way the Yummy deck plays is it all bounces back, and a lot of times you'll only have 1 monster in your main monster zone to make this live during your opponent's turn, even going first, even if you have a board. Then you have the non-engine, which is the 3 droplet. Droplet's good because I'm playing the board breaker version, so drawing it as a 6th card is really good. Setting it going first is also really good. You can just kind of get rid of the cards that you don't necessarily need. Multiple Yummies, multiple just non-engine pieces that I am playing. Like I said, it helps you break a board, and in today's format, you kind of need it. I know that Herald is the one issue with this card, but considering I'm playing a whole 9 monsters, the Herald interaction rarely comes up, so that's why it's in here. You can side it out here or there. You can also change it to the main deck, but like I said, I'm not playing hand traps, so that's kind of why this is in here. Then you have the thrust into the God cards, which would be Called by, you can't search this. Don't mistake what I just said. It's still really good. The Talents and the Duster. This was my 40th card. I couldn't think about what else I wanted to play, but I started thinking about it, and back row is what this deck basically dies to. It's the unknown what the deck dies to. You don't necessarily care about hand traps, but you care about like just random interactions that could happen, like the called bys that get set in the back row, the droplets that do get set in the back row, the imperms that now get set in the back row. So this is just a way like playing into a board that you can search off a thrust. Also just hard drawing it, it makes it easier. Makes it easier to deal with Yummy as well if they aren't playing the other field spell. It's just a way to like help OTK as well. The Talents is obviously the best card because it's Talents, it's thrust. You use it to take monsters in mirror match. You use it to rip hand so you can play around hand traps. And then the draw 2 obviously comes up, especially in rough scenarios. Like today I opened up literally all non-engine and then had played into a board, had this card. It got me into Obedience Gold and you win from there. So it's just overall good. Thrust is good because as you see, Obedience Gold is good. You're also playing the Sky Striker engine, so Thrust gets you into any of those, and then also going first if you do get hand trapped. That's where all the traps come in. So it's just overall a good card going first and second. Then you play the sweep of actual hand traps, not what people call hand traps. So you got the Imperm. Imperm's just generically good. You can kind of finesse things around with your board. Then you have the Purge. It's actually a lot better than a lot of people think. I know people don't necessarily like it, but just setting it, not necessarily keeping it in your hands, not bad either. I used that a lot where I'd have one in hand, one set, just so I can kind of maneuver with my extra deck. Like I said, it comes up with niche scenarios. And then the 3 songs. This card's actually just absurd. Like I said, just setting it or also like going into a board. You never have monsters in the graveyard and you don't use monsters in the hand or graveyard. So you can just use this going second, even as a 6th card. Like if you draw 2 of them, okay, I use one during my opponent's turn. Cool. Now I use this and I get an extra card on the next turn. So it just duos as like a good going second card. So that's the main deck. It's a 40-card main deck. Like I said, the Duster was kind of my 40th card, but you have to play 40, so that's why it's in there. On to the extra deck. You got the tokens, the Ujamaa tokens, the League tokens representing. Then you have the mandatory Yummy 3 Snatchy. This card is absolutely ridiculous. It's snatchy. Then you play the 3 Synchros. They all played their part. I think the one that I didn't summon the most would be the Book of Moon, but that's also just based off of the way you play the deck. You can kind of maneuver around to where this is your last form of an interaction, or like I said, into Malice or something like that. You can kind of book their monsters. The downside with this deck is Fua is a thing, and you don't necessarily want to Fua during your opponent's turn. You Fua during your own turn, and then it becomes a little bit harder to play, but with the hand traps or with the traps and spells that I play, that makes it a little bit more manageable. Then you play the Kagari, you play the Anima, and then you play the Link Spider. This is for Nib. This is for anyone that plays a little dumb. Kagari is just, it's Kagari. You can use it once again to combo or to just rake boards. Then you play the SP and this guy. This recycles your quick plays. Considering I play Droplet, Called by, all this other stuff, this can also recycle those, but it's also kind of a way to protect your field spell game 2s and 3s whenever you side down, depending on going second. You play the Starham. I guess that's a card. Marcher for the combo, and then the 2 Heralds. The card that I was talking about, or the few cards that you can play in the side deck, is for one, just a Link 4 Blowout. Because you cycle so much. You can go into like a Boral Sword. You can go into random Link 4s that can actually end the game. Like even like Zoroboros or something like that into random matchups. It's not bad. And then it's like number 2 Mosquito. It's little ninja dude that Sprite used to play. Because you can just cycle through all of your Link 2s, all your Synchro 2s, right? And then you spam the board with bodies. So you just go into the Mosquito, and then you just punch into big guys. Yes, you don't have your field spell anymore, but that doesn't matter, because if they have anything that's... I think the threshold is 2,700. You can attack 4 times, including the Mosquito. And then if it's 2K, once again, your whole deck just summons little guys. So you just have to find the way to get to game with the Mosquito. So that would be my replacement. I think you would probably cut one of the like generic ones, like maybe this. I like this. Like I said, it's a combo piece, or like one of the random, like Starham didn't come up, but I understand why people play it. So maybe like one of those, maybe like cutting down something more, but that's what my thought for was that. Then the side deck, honestly, I didn't go into a game 3 today, so the side deck was kind of there for, I don't know, something. The D barrier, because I'm playing Thrust, you just set this off of any Yugioh variants. You've got the 3 Pank into Yummy or any random decks that, you know, you can just summon Pank and threaten a board. A lot of the Canine and stuff like that, it can also duo into it. It's not as good, but that's it. You've got the 3 Judgment for going first. Helps with the board breakers, helps with Pank. I kind of wanted to play either Strike or Solemn Warning just to hit the Pank, because I feel like Pank's kind of an issue, but Santi kind of proved that, hey, there is a lot of cards that you can play, like Lightning Storm, stuff like that, that can break a Yummy board, and that's why this is better than the others. You play this. A lot of the decks today don't necessarily end on Omni Negates, and if they do, they're kind of subpar, so you can kind of play into them. Like Herald, yes, it's really good, don't get me wrong, but if I can use my Sky Striker engine to out it, and then just get rid of my board and then play this, you can kind of win, because once again, you get rid of Field Spell, you win the game. Then you play the 2 Lightning Storm. Same concept. It's just trying to go second, making your life a little bit easier board breaking, and then hopefully OTKing or just setting up a board. And then the obligatory Lance, because Malice is still in the format. So the reason why I chose to play the non-hand trap version was with K9, a lot of their engines and a lot of the decks that do play the engines, they rely on your opponent making plays. So this engine right here, the whole purge, the whole going second, the whole making sure that I don't have hand traps, I wanted to make sure that K9 cards were beyond useless against me, apart from the little bit of Lancias, but you're never going to see that in a matchup, and the possible side deck options that end up coming up, like with this. I wanted to just make sure that K9s did nothing against me. And so that was the goal of the deck. And like I said, K9s did nothing. So that's what I think the beneficial of board breakers is over hand traps, is K9s get so much value into hand traps, while board breakers, stuff like that, like I said, these are still hand traps. So like you can still play on your opponent's turn. They're still a good 6th card. Like I don't know how many times I drew the songs or the purge that you can still use during your turn, and they just help you break boards. Like I said, songs is just crazy going into boards. The Imperms, like I said, they're all good 6th cards. It's also a thing where hand traps feel very underwhelming. Against the Yummy mirror match, you know, you can hand trap them 4 or 5 times, and they still end on a board that, oh, cool, I still have a Link 1, level 1 on field. That means I can synchro 6 times on your turn. What did your hand traps accomplish? Literally nothing but hand looping yourself. Vanquish Soul, they play a lot of hand traps for that, but once again, these are cards that you can kind of play into them. So that's why I chose the board breaker version. Once again, just shout out to the 505, shout out to the sponsor, shout out to Santi and Chris. Like I said, I don't know how to play the deck, truthfully. I learned how to play the deck today. But the testing that, you know, you kind of decide what list you want to play and what weaknesses the deck have, that is solely up to them. It's just, you know, pilot sometimes helps. But shout out to Santi, Chris, shout out to the 505, shout out to the guys, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Congratulations on the top, my good sir.
Thank you.